Picture this, it's 8:30 a.m. and you're trying to get started on a big project, maybe work, school, or that one thing you've been avoiding for weeks. The task seems simple enough, but for some reason, it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. Sound familiar? The uninvited guest in our brains who never shuts up and has the most impeccable timing. It's like that one friend who shows up at your house, unannounced, and immediately starts giving you unsolicited advice about how you should have painted the walls a different color. Seriously, what's up with that? I mean, really? You're just trying to enjoy your coffee and tackle a simple task. But no, your inner critic, in all its glory, shows up like an overzealous gym instructor, shaking a finger in your face. You're not good enough. You can't do this. What are you even thinking? Trying to actually succeed. Remember that time you thought you were a great cook? That soup was disaster central. Okay, look, I get it. We all have that little voice inside our heads. And honestly, it's like when you try to ignore it, it just gets louder. It's like that one friend who doesn't get the hint. You've been polite, you've tried to smile, but they're still there, asking about your personal life when you're just trying to live peacefully. It's enough to make you want to scream. But here's the truth. The inner critic loves it. It feeds off of that fear. And let's be real here. We all have that inner critic, whether it's about our appearance, our abilities, or even the totally embarrassing thing we said to that one person at that one party 5 years ago. Yeah, that one. And no matter how much we try to block it out, there it is, right on our shoulder. Look, we've all had moments where we've felt like a complete failure, right? Let's take a second here to admit, how many times have you thought, well, I'm an idiot. There's no way I can do this. Probably more times than you'd care to admit. Me, I've lost count. But here's the twist. What if, just what if that inner critic isn't actually your best friend? What if it's actually the equivalent of a toddler in a candy store, throwing tantrums and picking fights over nothing? You know what I'm talking about, right? That tiny, hyperactive, irrational part of your brain that just loves to stir up chaos and make everything 10 times harder than it needs to be. But here's the thing. What if I told you that you can shut that little monster up? Because the truth is, most of what that voice tells you isn't real. It's just noise, the equivalent of a paper airplane, harmless and easily discarded if you know how to handle it. I've been the person who overthinks every tiny detail of a project until I've practically worn myself out. So I'm not here to give you some crazy mystical advice like just ignore it or think happy thoughts. Nah, we're going to do better than that. Let's talk about how you can literally mute that inner critic like you would a misbehaving child in the middle of a grocery store meltdown. The first step in shutting that voice down is recognizing it. And I don't mean like, oh, I can hear the voice. I mean really recognizing it, like a guest who's overstayed their welcome. Do you know what your inner critic sounds like? Think about it. For me, it's that little gremlin that whispers, you'll never be good enough. You don't deserve this. Remember the last time you failed? Yeah, that guy. We all have one. When you notice the inner critic, you start to separate yourself from it. It's no longer you. It's this weird, annoying voice that doesn't even have its life together, trying to run your show. Now here's where it gets fun. Challenge that voice. Next time it tells you that you're not enough, ask yourself, really? Based on what? What facts do you have to support that? And suddenly it's like the inner critic has no ammunition left. The truth is, your inner critic is like a bad stand-up comic. It has a lot of material, but it's never funny. It just repeats the same tired jokes. You see what I did there? Yeah, I'm using humor to disarm it, and so can you. When that voice starts up, respond with your own truth. You've got this. You can handle it. You don't have to be perfect to succeed. Nobody is. Seriously. Right, here's the secret. The more you recognize that the inner critic is just an overdramatic, insecure part of your brain, the less power it has over you. You start to laugh at it, and before you know it, it starts to fade away. So next time it starts up, take a deep breath, roll your eyes, literally it works, and say, nice try, buddy, but I'm in charge here. And that's the key, my friend. You get to decide. Your inner critic may never fully go away, but with a little humor, recognition, and self-compassion, you can learn to shut it down. Because in the end, you're the one holding the microphone to your life story. And that little critic, it's just the heckler in the crowd. And we all know, hecklers don't get a say in the show. So here's to turning down the volume on that inner critic. You've got this. Trust me, I'm rooting for you. Now go. Go enjoy that coffee. You earned it. Don't let the inner critic win. You are enough.